Softy, we had David Hewitt on the show yesterday. He made some strong comments about the state of college football and NIL and where the Huskies are currently at. We want your reaction to this, but first let's take a listen to Damon.
The Huskies do not have a $28 million roster. It's probably closer to 22 if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Which is great. Is good. I think we can just start last July with the House settlement. Revenue share was allowed in college sports. So it basically said the new law of the land was, hey, every college in America you can spend up to $21 million and share it with your student athletes. And I think we all thought there'd be some law and order and some rules in place with this. So basically that gave, for example, say UW makes $200 million a year. Mm-hmm. We now can share $15 million with our football roster. Okay, where it gets dicey is this third-party NIL deals, where schools, we thought the collectives would kind of go away, they really didn't. And so schools now, donors pool their money, it's still kind of pool for play, and they do these deals where on top of the rev share, they're giving another, say, we have $7 million in NIL deals for our players to get to 22. So the House settlement was good, but it probably wasn't good enough because a lot of schools out there now can spend $40, $50 million if an Oregon with Uncle Phil, Texas Tech with their oil money.
Michigan, we've heard $50 million.
Michigan, we've heard $50 million. So it's not a level playing field. We're doing a good job at UW, but could it be better? Absolutely.
All right, Softy, nobody closer to the UW program than yourself. Thoughts on what you heard from Damon? They're doing good, could be better.
Yeah, well, he's exactly right. I mean, and we've heard that from Jed Fish for the last 2 years, since he's been here, that they're not where they need to be, right? I mean, can they get there one day? Maybe, but he's also right that they don't have a Boone Pickens. They don't have a Phil Knight. They don't have that big billion-dollar whale that's going to fund this whole thing the way Mark Cuban did Indiana football last year, for example. So that's number one, the concern for me. Number two, the concern for me is the next generation of donors. There's a young alumni group, obviously, out there, Chris. As you know, you see a lot of young, Tyee members over at Washington that are being asked to come into the fold to be a part of this thing. So I think that's kind of, for Pat Chun and Jed Fish and anybody in charge of fundraising, Damon included on that, Shannon Kelly, people like that, they've got to identify that next wave of donors because let's face it, people are getting older. No question about that. They need a younger fan base that can start to donate money with a whole new generation of donors. So that's number two. And then number three, I'm with them on the rules. I mean, I just get sick and tired of guys leaving after a year. I look at every year as a one-year proposition, right? Like all these dudes on the roster right now, how do I know they're going to be here in a year from now? Back in the day, in the 90s and 80s, you sit around, you see a freshman. Like, remember when Napoleon Kaufman was a freshman playing for UW in 91? Your first thought watching him return that kickoff against Michigan in the Rose Bowl is, oh, my God, this guy's going to be good when he's a junior. Can't say that now because I have no idea if these guys are going to be here. Hell, how do I know that DeMond Williams ain't going to try and quit again over the winter and go somewhere else and play for a different football team next season? Derek Coleman-Broussard, Cody Green, are they going to be here for the duration at Washington? Mm-hmm. Maybe they're different because they're from here, but you guys get my point that you can't count on anything besides what the roster looks like right now because everything can change dramatically from one year to the next, and I believe the fans and the people that care about college football deserve to have a little more loyalty and a little more consistency with these rosters. This flipping everything over every year is nonsense, and it's killing the game, and it's got to stop.
100% agree.
Can't argue with you there. My takeaway from what you just said, though, is about the donors getting older, the next generation coming in. And speaking as the token millennial here on set, we don't typically do that. Like we're not of the generation to give back to our schools or to do that. And it's not that we're selfish. It's just that we, frankly, don't have any money. We're of the generation that was affected quite greatly by the financial crisis. And so we're very stingy. We're a stingy group.
Well, they need millionaires. They're going to be going not after the stingies. They're going after the millionaires and billionaires, and that's who they need right now.
I mean, you need also, you're talking about, sons, grandsons, daughters, granddaughters of people that obviously are tied to Washington. I was at a function over the weekend with somebody who's in his mid-80s, and his son is obviously a big Husky fan as well. So, there is that aspect that it can be passed down, that idea, that you want to help help out at UW, that you want to be a part of funding something that can result in wins on a Saturday afternoon. But you're exactly right that this generation is different than the other generation. So what I think you've got right now in a lot of ways is just Major League Baseball, right? There's no salary cap, right? And, baseball's trying to rectify that, obviously. So I'm wondering down the road if they'll be able to get away with something like that, where they can actually institute a cap. I've been talking about a cap in college football on facilities forever, going back 30 years, ever since Oregon started going bananas with their buildings down there, that, hey, remember there used to be a facilities war. Let's limit what teams can spend, what departments can spend on facilities, because a small school in Central Texas is not going to be able to spend what a place like USC will, for example, but you still want them to compete with each other. So let's do a salary cap for everything. The only way you're going to get to do that, guys, is if you let the players unionize and have a seat at the table and have everything collectively bargained. If not, you're going to court, you're going to get sued, and you're going to lose.